VRchat is beautiful. There are so many amazing and cool worlds that will genuinely take your breath away, and I could show you those, but that's kind of boring and overdone at this point. So instead, let me show you some of the most boring and mundane worlds that I could find, you beautiful sons of guns. And what better way to start it off than a zoo? Now I know that some are different, but for the most part, zoos are essentially the equivalent to the Great Value brand that you would find at stores, but for, well, the entertainment world. You could go on a roller coaster, you could go to the arcade, or you could even go do some like go-karts or something, or you can look at like koalas do absolutely nothing. Listen, I'll buckle. They are pretty neat at first, but they're a dime a dozen at the end of the day, and they're never typically as interesting as you'd hope. And I think the biggest thing about it is, why would you ever go to a zoo in VR when you can just go to a real one? All things considered, this one isn't horrible per se, it's just a little bland. Sure, they have some usual ones like giraffes or lions, but I'm missing out on many others. Plus, some of these aren't even real. Like, this is a dragon, for God's sakes. Are these even considered an animal? Overall, I'm not super impressed, I'll be honest. But if that wasn't boring and mundane enough for you, allow me to introduce you to a gray and monochrome house. This place is boring. It's small, it's cramped, it doesn't have any furniture, only has a couple of lights, and I don't even think it has actual plumbing, which means that I don't think you could use this for housing. I think like the only saving grace this place has is the fact that it makes me think of little baby Dapper when he was just a wee little embryo playing Sims, and you could like build your first house, but you like forgot about the fact that wallpaper was the thing. Makes me think of when you could like imagine putting furniture in places. Like you could put like a TV right there, and then you could have like a couch over here. In this room, you could most likely have, I'd say maybe a dining table, because it is like the entrance area, or you could like switch the two and stuff, and I think that would look pretty either way. Outside of me basically coping, I think you could do better, honestly. But to contrast the world that we were just in, allow me to show you the B world I found. I'm not gonna lie, I would describe this world as forgettable if it wasn't for the fact that it does have a catchy song with it. I don't know, I just think there's something really wholesome about a bee talking about fucking. And that's some family-friendly fun that anybody can get behind, you know? Okay, so we've seen monochrome and we've seen also very colorful, so why not have a little bit of a palette cleanser? This is the default world that you go back to, also known as VRchat Home. And I'm not gonna lie, I find it kind of interesting that it's constantly being adapted, as it has went through a lot of different versions throughout the years. So why not get a little bit nostalgic and check out an older version of the VRchat Home? Welcome to the old VRchat Home. You can sort of like see the resemblance to the old world and the new world, especially with like stuff kind of being added and built upon for the most part. For instance, you can actually see where the portals are back there, which I find really fascinating. It's actually kind of nostalgic looking around this place, because I've been in VRchat for quite some time, though I do have to admit that the lighting is a little bit off for my taste. It doesn't really feel the exact same because of that. There are also some interesting quirks with this place, and I feel like the audio got messed up too. On the bright side, at least the portals still work, so that's pretty cool. Huh. I don't think I remember this world. But hey, before we get stuck in a mirror, I think it's about time I show you some real nostalgia. Fellas, do you ever look back to the old days when you were a lot younger and you remember hearing your father mowing outside while you're playing with your toys? Oh, your father left. Well, I made a Father's Day video for this exact situation, so by all means check it out later. But for everybody else, you're about to enjoy a very nostalgic experience, as we're gonna watch Dad start mowing. There's nothing like watching Dad mow, am I right? One of the best features is that you can actually call over the boys, and they can help him now too. So, we've seen some pretty mundane worlds today, and some rather nostalgic ones. But allow me to finish this off with an actual recommendation that I totally recommend. And that is the Black Cat, one of the safest and friendliest worlds of VRchat. Come and enjoy a fantastic world space with plenty of people to meet and greet. I recommend going over to that mirror right there, and you'll probably meet some pretty interesting people. Oh, and how could I almost forget to shout out you beautiful furries out there. If you take some time out of your busy day to go check out a Black Cat, I promise it'll be an experience that you'll never forget. Now, you might be wondering, Dapper, why aren't you in a public world showing off these amazing interactions? And that's quite simple. I don't want to get age restricted to monetize and lose my channel for a bit. And with all that said and done, I think that's the perfect time to stop world hopping. I know it's not anything super crazy, and these worlds are definitely something you'll probably forget pretty soon, but I hope you beautiful sons of guns did enjoy nonetheless. And if you did, maybe leave a comment down below what you thought. If you have some more mundane and normal worlds, definitely put them down in the comments below as well. But in the meantime, hope you beautiful sons of guns did enjoy. And honestly, at the end of the day, all I can ask is that you have a wonderful night tonight. And as always, stay dapper.